Well, hello, Coffee Time friends. I'm not even sure how this internet thing will work today. Mama's waving at you today. She don't want to be deemed as unfriendly.
You're the one that says that.
Mama, they all talk about you behind your back. She won't even talk to us.
I don't
You
think
hurt
they
their
do.
feelings.
I don't think they do. I think that's you.
You act all like you don't want to talk to us, like we're in your way.
Right.
Well, it hurts my feelings in front of my friends.
Oh.
All right, let's quit arguing, Mama. She's trying to choke me. Okay, it's snowing here today. Did y'all see my pictures earlier? That is nothing. We've had about 3 more inches since then. We've got more on the way. Lots of things going on here. Roads are covered. Ain't a thing we can do about it except eat. And we're eating. Mama's decided that roast that we had yesterday was so good.
Steaks.
Those steaks, round steaks, that she's going to turn into 2 or 3 meals. And here's the rest of the potatoes going right in this here kitter. Mama's going to make, today we're having pot roast.
Beef stew. That's what it's called. We ain't got the roast.
Beef stew, whatever.
I've been calling it pot roast. It's the wrong thing.
Mama's told me it's pot roast just before we started this. Anyhow, beef stew, but I put beef stew on the thing, I believe.
I hope you did, because I should.
Whatever it is what we're having. We're having that leftover meat, and we're putting some carrots and stuff with it. How's that sound to y'all? I'll show you my cutting board here. All right. So I'm just cutting up carrots and carrying on. And I'm just wanting them big and chunky, but not as big as this. So we're not going to worry about the roads this minute. We may have to worry about them later for some reason. But right now, we're not going to worry about that 5 to 6 inches laying out there in the yard. We're going to worry about eating some beef stew. We've been acting silly all day today because it's just one of those days. But pot roast, beef stew, it's going to be beef stew because it's what you would make if you made pot roast, you had leftover pot roast. Same thing with this round steak, okay? Now I'm just cutting these up into kind of bite-sized pieces, not worrying about too much about it, just getting them into a smaller bite, okay? But things are closing around here, all those things. But let me tell y'all something about Abigail. Abigail, or we nicknamed her, Mama, I don't know, my work friends and I have nicknamed her Abracadabra.
Oh, Jens has done that. That wasn't part of that.
They call her, how's Abracadabra? Abigail, she's made it clear today. She has no uncertain terms. I'm not a house dog. I'm staying out here where I want to be. So I opened the door. She came in. She did a flip, turn, and went right back out. I tried to get her to come back to the door, and she's like,
didn't know she even come in.
She just come in she barely 2 seconds. And so this morning I went out early because it was snowing a little bit. We had about 2.5 inches, I told you. This morning I thought, I'm gonna go check on her because she's probably ready to come in now. She wouldn't even come to the door this morning. And I looked out in that yard. There was hardly a spot that she hadn't traversed. And she's up and down those steps. She has played in that snow. I gave her a rawhide trying to lure her in. If I get her in here and get her warmed up, she'll stay. So I got her to the top steps. She come in and done that little circle I told you. Run right back out, and I had to re-lure her back. I said, come on, come here, come and get this. She came up, grabbed her rawhide, and went out and laid in the snow, where she always lays. But there's snow on it today, and chewed on her rawhide for a few minutes. That girl she's in her element. She don't care about nothing.
I believe she's one of those big old dogs from the last.
Husky. She ain't part husky.
No, but she thinks she is.
She is content out there, and I've checked on her all day today. Offered her to come in several times. She's not interested in us like that. She just wants to be fed, petted, loved on, and called a sweet baby, and then she wants to go about her way. She's one tough cookie now. One tough cookie, that was all it is. But anyhow, she's living her best life. I think it should stay in her house all day. Every time I've gone out, I've had to holler up out of the fields. I think she's tracking rabbits. Or deer or something. And it takes her a minute to come home. Like, she's down in these, we got a lot of fields. You've seen her. She's not gone or nothing, and she's not anywhere else, but she's down in this lower field. She's over here. She's down behind the barn. She's just running amok and loving it. And now that there's snow on the ground, I can see where she's going. She's got her steps in. She had her steps in at 6 o'clock this morning, her 1,000 today. That dog don't slow down for nothing. But anyhow, that's update on her because somebody was worried about her. If it gets down colder, it's 19. It's 19 degrees and I can't get her to come in. Now, back when it was warmer, she'd come in and get treats and stuff. But I think I left her in a time or two longer than she wanted to stay. And I just think, well, if I keep her in here, and I think she's like, you him and me in there. Mama, talk to us and tell us what you're making.
I'm stirring up a little cornbread. They've seen it a dozen times.
Mama, you could put some different stuff in it since it's just a little bit.
No, what do you want me to put in it?
Like a little corn.
That's Mexican.
Yeah, Mexican cornbread would be good with this soup.
Huh.
Don't you have a cornbread mix in there?
Yeah, but I think I'll just stir it up now. Some flour and meal together. I don't have a Mexican cornbread mix.
Well, I mean, you know how to make it. You don't put no peppers in it anyway, so just go ahead and I'll take the cornbread however I get it.
Yeah, I'll have onions in that. I better skip it on cornbread.
I was just thinking it's 4:30. This is the early bird special going on here today. Mama's putting an egg in that cornbread, hold it together. Did you all see her check it like I check it? She started doing that, but she would never tell you all that. She used to always have to have a separate dish.
I'm having to wash them separate dishes. It's getting slow on.
We got the dishwasher rolling now. We used to never use it. Now we started using it, haven't we, Mama?
Yeah, we're doing a little.
I'm proud of you.
And that's that plain old stuff.
That's that old low fat.
Plain old stuff. I reckon I need just a hair more.
Yeah, you always need more.
No, I don't always need more. You're the one I always need.
You just done a little skillet full.
Yeah.
Thin, Mama, thin. This is going to be thin. This is going to be a little thin bunch. See, I put that double that because I like plenty of cornbread. Mama's stingy with it. She really don't want us to have a lot of food. She wants to hoard it up, not feed us good.
Poor little thing's been mistreated.
Oh, mercy. That roast, well, you know that round steak we had. I keep calling it roast. It was as good as roast. It was so tender. But we had all that left. This is my favorite part.
What?
When you pour it in the skillet.
Oh.
Oh, you're adding more milk to it? I told you it was
a
thick.
little stiff.
I told you it was. What's that pain on? Don't you hit that.
That'd be awful if I hit that.
Yes, that's the reason I just had to warn you. Now looky here, let's do a fly over. I want to hear it. I want you to hear it. See, that's what we like. We want it to just sizzle when we put it in there. Because that means it's already cooking. It's already getting there. And those around the edges is already getting browned. And another thing, it's not absorbing any of that grease when it's that hot. Look at that. See how it turned up here? It's because it's already cooked. That's going to be a good size loaf, Mama. You did good there. So what are y'all eating today? What do you think of this comfort food? When it's snowy and cold outside, what do you grab first? Or what does your mind go to first? I guess my first inclination is chili. Really. And we just had chili last week. And I've got some left in there. I'm going to put a little something in it and maybe make a little taco-y looking something. But because we had this round steak left, I said it right that time, give me a button. thinking, Mama said this morning, you want soup with a little bit of that roast, a little bit of that round steak. Right, too soon. A little bit of that round steak in it and a little bit of that gravy for the flavor. Or do you want pot roast with it? Because I'm fixing both. I said today. And she said, well, no, I ain't doing it all today, but I'm going to do one or the other today. And we'll have the other one the next day. And I said, you suit you today, Mama. And she said, well, I'm thinking I want carrots and potatoes and that gravy and that meat. I said, well, then that's what we'll have. So today is pot beef stew. And tomorrow will probably be vegetable soup with some of that meat in it. Because we've got plenty.
I've got ground chuck. We may have chili.
We got chili still in there.
Okay.
Mama's wanting to cook more chili. See what the weather does to us. It makes us just out of control. Now I'm going to use the rest of this cabbage because it's here. Mama has stolen my dish right. No, she ain't. Sorry. 9 times out of 10 she has.
What else do you need?
Well, sugar and red wine vinegar if that's what you're wanting it to be. I do whatever you say, Mom. I just work for you.
Well, sure you do.
I do. They all know it too. I'm getting a clean cut here. Y'all know how to do. Even if I just used it, I always do that clean cut, I call it, where I cut off that little bit of the outer where I've sliced and throw that away. And that way I get down to fresh. And I'm going to make it in the chopper just like I always do now. I was making it separate in a bowl, but that was just nonsense, folks, because I wasn't fully using my chopper, because I can throw the mayonnaise and the sugar and the red wine vinegar right in it.
That's what I got out, red wine vinegar.
And it comes out delicious. Why should I dirty another bowl and carry on? Ain't gonna. Now, I do not ever put that core in my slaw. But this one don't have a huge core. In fact, it don't really even seem to have a core like normal. See there? A little bit up there at the edge. But I'm going to go ahead and take that V cut out of that. Because I don't, there's your core. See that big old core? That's going to be, peppery. That's going to be hot. And if you put that in your coleslaw, you ain't going to have no leftover coleslaw, but because by tomorrow that will have ruined the whole thing. And when it just tastes that strong flavor, you don't want that mess. And there's something else I don't know what that even is in it. But you don't want that sharp core in there. Now, I bet your restaurants just grind the whole thing up in there sometime, but now we never did. But now some restaurants do, and they just grind the whole business up in there instead of cutting it out. But I don't ever use that core.
Should I put an onion in here or is there enough in that soup?
I put an onion there because that soup, time we've cooked it 2 or 3 times, that onion's done all it can do. I think a good fresh onion will do it a world of good, Mama. Now I've got slaw. It looks like a parade's coming through here with ticker tape. Look, let's get that over there. Get old trusty slicer dice chopper here. This is Tupperware. Everybody always wants to know. It's called the Supersonic Chopper. And if you look in the book now, if you look online, it's red. This is red. And that's the new one. This is our original one. I've got the red one up there. But I like this one the very best. Because it's my original. It's not because it works better. It's not because any of that. It's just because I've always grabbed this one. Now I'm going to put in, that one's little, so I'll put 4 little carrots in there. You all remember the time I made it too carroty. But you know, we ended up, we like that carroty one. Mama, I was thinking, we've got a lot of apples here. We need to, while we're trapped in the house, we probably need to make us an apple. Well, you know, where we make it with mayonnaise and something else. We make it with mayonnaise and raisins. And when you wash these, sometimes the string, you have to pull it a couple times. apple salad. You know, I just sprung that on Mama just now in front of y'all because I was just thinking about it earlier and I hadn't really mentioned it to her. This is good old Duke's. Y'all use what you want to. There's some things that it matters, some things it don't. Sometimes I don't even worry about that because, like, if I'm going to make a dressing or something that's not as like the coleslaw, then if I'm going to add a lot of seasoning to it, then it's not as important to me what kind of salad dressing, as long as it's a good salad dressing. So sometimes we'll use store brand for that. But if I'm going to taste it as much as I am in coleslaw, I really want my Dukes. I'm going to put a little red wine vinegar. You can substitute apple cider or even regular vinegar if you want. That was about a tablespoon. And now I'm going to put just white granulated sugar. And I'm going to put about a good heaping teaspoon in there, or tablespoon in there. And I guess that'll be enough. If it ain't, I can always add more. And I can definitely add some more Dukes at the end and all that. So I used to make this separate. That's my carrots and my Dukes and my red wine vinegar and my sugar. I'm going to put it right in here. So I used to dirty a spatula and a bowl, and I used to be able to put this lid on here, but this is crooked. See that? It has to go on the middle. One day I've been in the snow and I've lost my ability to cook. You can make ranch in this. You can make any kind of dress in this. I love it for that. Here it is. All made. Look how beautiful. That's a beautiful thing right there. Now let's throw some of this cabbage in here. Cabbage is one of those things you can choke it down with if you get it around them blades before they get to spinning. So you can put plenty in there, but just don't think you can pack it in there or something. You've got to have a little room for them blades to get started. You can sure put plenty though. I love a good coleslaw with beef stew. Now, like right now, I'm going to add more, so don't have to worry about it being shredded tiny, but that may be small enough for some of y'all. Some of y'all like, that's plenty small. I like big old chunky slaw. And you know me, I like it real fine and I like it real chunky. If I'm having barbecue in the summertime, I don't mind a bit to have big old chunky slaw for that. If I'm having fish or chicken tenders or something like that, mostly I prefer it to be finer. But like a hot dog, a slaw dog, I don't care if it's big and chunky.
You put your sugar in already?
Yes, ma'am. Now, I may need more.
Oh.
I ain't tasted it.
I'm going to put her up.
Oh, we know, Mama. She said she gonna put that up. We know you was, Mama.
Oh, and you're making a lot of slime.
Well, I had this cabbage. You know what I think I'm gonna do? I'm gonna leave the rest of this right here and put in that soup tomorrow. Because this is getting a lot of cabbage. And I'm gonna have to get this down in there where it'll chop up. And we don't need this much slaw. So I've got all the cabbage cut up. I just didn't want to put a little bitty piece of cabbage back in there. But I've got enough here to throw in that pot of soup tomorrow. So as I was chopping that, I thought this is gonna be too much slaw for us. But I will need cabbage for soup tomorrow. And we've got more cabbage, so I'll add more to it. But I'll take this and put it in a Ziploc or in a Tupperware bowl, and we'll have plenty. Now with cabbage, sometimes you want to give it a good shake. Get the top on the bottom and the bottom on the top. Looky here. Looky here. coleslaw is ready. Look at that. That's beautiful. Now I'm going to go ahead. You all fancier people probably won't do this, but I'm going to go ahead and put it in our to-go. I call it, and that's another thing I do sometimes, I call it to-go. It ain't to go in nowhere. It's to stay in here, but it's leftover. So I'm going to put it in this little bowl. Put it in this little bowl.
Have you tasted of it yet?
Have I tasted of it?
Yeah, see if it needs sugar or...
You want to put that sugar, especially if you can't stand it.
I reckon.
Oh, she's strict. All right, Mama, I'll taste of it. Well, where I add a little more, I'm going to put a little bit more of this in there. And a little bit more sugar. Just a touch. Just keep yours about the same, I guess, because you probably won't use that much slaw. But if you do, I put about a teaspoon sugar and another splash of red wine vinegar. This is quite a bit. Let's try it now. That's a good run. Here's my bowl. Let's get all this goodie out. You don't want to waste any of that beautiful slaw. Now, I could use a spatula and make this 10 times easier, but who wants easy? That beautiful slaw. Mama likes my slaw even. And y'all know how picky she is. You should have got a spatula, John. I got the biggest much of it out. Now I'm going to save the rest of this. And I'm going to have it for my soup tomorrow. And this, once we eat what we want of that, we'll put this lid right back on it. And it's done, ready for the refrigerator. Gonna clean all my cabbage up. Because you ain't gonna waste this much cabbage. Because it's good. And it's so good in soup. And it's already chopped up. And it'll wilt down in your soup. And most likely you won't even know what's in there. See, that's quite a bit. That'll be enough for a good soup. Put that over and I'll put that in a bag or in a, probably in a fridge smart. And clean up my mess. Clean as you go.
Scoot your cabbage leaves over here and I'll put them in my garbage.
We need to get a hog.
A hog? Hey,
Yeah.
you gonna walk out there and feed it, water it, and take care of it?
I'll take 3 days if you'll take 4.
I think not.
No hogs for us. Y'all ever raised hogs?
They're too much work.
They're a lot of work. Any animal's a lot of work if you really put the care and love into it. You gotta make sure they have water on days like today, and not just once. You need to be getting them 3 good drinks a day at least, which means you gotta go bust up some ice and clear the waterways. It's a job. Animals are a job. If you're doing farm animals, and we've done them all. Thank you, Christopher, for those stars. Hey, Karen, how are you? Animals can be a lot of work. Mama, how's it coming?
Cut me like...
Is this for tomorrow's soup?
No, that's for today's.
You gonna chop it up?
Yeah, and you won't have to have much for it because it's...
So I'm just gonna, this is just as tender as it can be. So I'm just taking my knife and kind of running through it. Even out of the refrigerator, it's just as tender as it can be. This will just shred up when it gets hot, and it'll be just delicious. It'll be delicious. And now we've got, out of that round steak that she got on sale, we will have gotten 3 meals. That's not bad. So what's your weather like? We love y'all too. Who just said that? I've got my hand in this so I would go back and look. What's your weather like? Did you get snow or you ever get out of your driveway? We couldn't. I couldn't get out of the driveway right now if I wanted to. Which that always worries me a little bit in case of an emergency, but...
I've got your cabbage put in.
But in case of a real emergency, we've got Daddy's truck. And it's 4-wheel drive. And it's got new tires on it. I fixed it up this fall because it had just sort of sat there. You know, when you let them sit, and we thought about selling it, but we're too, living on a farm, we got too much going on not to have a truck because Mama, she a wildcat. She's always and forevermore wanting brush cleaned up and hauled and stuff moved, and trees, Christmas trees moved from the garage to the basement. You can put them in the back of the truck, move them right around the house. So a truck was almost a necessity here. We could probably get around about that, but I bet you we'd have missed it within a week. So Mama said, I hate to get rid of his truck. And I said, I do too, and it's a good truck. Let's just fix it up. So we put a little money in it, got new brakes, had all the oil changed, you know, all that fluids changed. We've got a real good mechanic here at Douglas Oil. He does all that good stuff. He put new tires on it. It's got a tire shop, local fella, and he does a good job. And had the brakes bled and all that good stuff that you have to do to them. And it drives like a dream. It's just wonderful. So that's a good thing. So why give up something like that? Too much rain in Maine. Felicia, that rhymed, but I know you don't. You want the rain go, ain't you? Negative 0. Oh goodness, I always got 0. Oh mercy. Why do I keep freezing up, June? I'm not freezing up here. Go out and come back in and see if that helps. Now I ain't saying it would. Looky here. While I've been filling that coleslaw, Mama has done this. Look at this. That's that cornbread. That's that cornbread. Already out of that easy bake, already browned and delicious. And it rose up really nice, Mama.
Yeah, I told you.
Now let's see that flip.
I may not. Well, it did this time.
Are you kidding, Mama? You always flip.
This one I used for something else the other day.
You used a cornbread skillet for something else?
That little one I had. No, it was that and the other one.
Oh, I started saying, Mama,
No,
I'm going to check you in if you don't get you some help, because nobody ever uses your cornbread skillets.
Where's that other skillet?
I'd rather put my head in the dishwasher as a cornbread skillet. You don't put any cast iron in that dishwasher, and you don't use it for nothing. In fact, if you're fixing something else, don't even look at your cornbread skillet. Mama was don't even think about it, she'd say. I'm just gonna sit here a minute.
Are you absorbing that smell or the heat?
Mama, this smells so good. If I had a candle like that, I'd burn it all the time.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I kid you not. This is smelling delicious. This homemade cornbread.
Do you want bowls or just a plate?
I want a bowl.
Or you want a plate for cornbread and coleslaw?
Wow, yeah, Mama, we'll be fancy if you want to. But I can eat my cornbread off this plate in a bowl for the stew and a bowl for the coleslaw. You don't have to dirty 2 plates.
There you go.
That's what I want, that combo right there. A big bowl and a littler bowl. And I'll just pick my cornbread right up off this plate. My granny, that's one of my memories of my granny. My granny I know this is. We think about this. We hear about it today. My granny was born in 1919. How old was Granny when she had the accident?
So she's supposed to start at school.
So she was 4.5 or 5.
No, 6 back then.
6. What was this?
About 6.
Anyhow, her and her sister and her cousin was playing in the house, and they found, I don't know if I'm allowed to say it, but they found something they shouldn't have found, and it went off, and it hit them, and it hit her in the side of her head. She went through therapy. This was in 1922, 23, 100 years ago, right around. And therapy and years of trying. Her twin sister would go to school and come back and give her the homework. And she stayed caught up in school. And she was right-handed, but it switched and she became left-handed.
Paralyzed her.
It paralyzed her for a year or so. But therapy, I mean, I'm talking about therapy in 1920. Well, in 1920, 23, 24, about 100 years ago. She recovered from that. Tough as nails. Tough as nails. This is my daddy's mama. And she learned to write, she learned to walk, she learned all that stuff. And I'm talking about, you know, PT back then probably was totally different. They probably didn't know what physical therapy was. They probably just made it up. The doctor probably said just work with her, or do this or do that. So anyhow, long story short, too late, she overcame all that. And but her whole life, it affected her in some ways. You know, you couldn't tell by looking at her or anything, but she had to learn to write with her left hand, so she had beautiful handwriting though with left hand. But she would always do certain things opposite of what was natural to her because she had to learn to do them. So like when she was stirring something or moving something, then I always remember that. And I remember my whole life, like if she was eating cornbread or rolls or anything with a meal, she would hold it in her right hand because that became her less dominant hand. And she would only hold it with these 2 fingers. And she wouldn't hold it, you know, like a lot of people, but she'd hold it with those 2 fingers. And she would be sitting there pinching that cornbread, but she'd eat with her left hand. And when I was a kid, I used to try to not mock her. That's not the right word. It wasn't intentional. It was I wanted to be like her. And it was weird to me that she was eating with the wrong hand, which there's nothing wrong with left hand. Turns out I broke my right arm in kindergarten. Similar, you know, I had to learn to do that. So I do a lot of things left-handed that normally I would do right-handed. So I kind of fell in, not severe as hers, but I kind of had to do some of the similar things because my arm was broke almost all my kindergarten year. And you can't just sit there. And that's how it kind of got to me. So I would try to hold my stuff and do just like her. And as I got older, sometimes I will pick up an ink pen to write something with my left hand, even though I don't write predominantly with my right left hand, but I can write with it. Certain things, you know, that normally right-handed dominant people will do, like I wash dishes with my left hand a lot of times, just because, and when I was a kid, I had to learn how to use that left hand. So it always fascinated me how my granny did. She would tell stories about her life, and I would think, wow, how did she survive that? How did they get through that? She would just tell it, and it was never a poor me syndrome tale. It was always a lot of laughter and a lot of fun, and even when she was talking about those things, when she was trying to do therapy and learn those things, and when her sister would bring schoolwork home and stuff, and she'd try to get her to do her work for her, and then she said, you know, that she'd just laugh about it and tell the stories. But, you know, that would have been 100 years ago right now. 23, 24. It would have been 1923, 1924. And the amazement of what those folks went through and how they overcame so many odds and so many horrible situations. It's amazing.
She stayed at her grandma's in Amps for a whole year because she got better too.
Mm-hmm.
They couldn't move her.
They couldn't move her. She had to lay still for a year. And that's a 6-year-old. Strong, tough people. Tough people. And I admire them 100%. And, you know, I owe a lot of my heritage, most of my heritage to Granny and to my mom's mom and my mom's dad. I remember my mom's dad better than I remember my mom's mom because he lived longer.
She died when you was about 3.5 or 4. So.
I remember her, but I remember my papa. I remember a lot about my papa. And he was such a, he was funny, had a good sense of humor, but he was also dry humor, you know, sort of. And he would come out and he would yell at us to get out of his apple trees because he had an apple orchard.
He yelled at all of us when this
and he would say, "Don't make me come back out here." And we was afraid. That meant something to us. If he come back out there, we didn't know what he might break. He could have thrown a rock. He wouldn't have cared. But we knew what to do, didn't we, Mama?
Yeah.
Mama, let's bless this meal. Why are you in the
See
other
if
room?
that carrot's is tender or not, if I have to set it back on the stove.
Well, it's a big one.
I reckon. Crunchy, crunchy, crunchy.
Oh, let's bless it, Mama. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this wonderful meal. We thank you for the nourishment of our bodies with it. We thank you for these precious hands that prepared it, dear Lord. And we just ask you to bless us, watch over and lead and guide and direct us in the things you'd have us to do, dear Lord. And for all those here gathered with us today, they have needs, dear Lord. They have prayer requests. They have situations. They have illnesses, Lord. We just pray that you'll answer each and every one of those in your glory and your will and your time, dear Lord. Dear Lord, be with our world. Be with people out traveling. Be with our first responders and those who may find themselves sick or need emergency care, dear Lord. We just pray a special prayer upon them. And dear Lord, we just pray for everyone that's out and about, dear Lord. Just watch over and put a hedge of protection around them. In your blessed name we pray. Amen.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Mama, may I get you some slaw?
Yes.
This could be the best slaw you've had all day.
I guess it is, because I ain't had none today.
See, I wasn't stretching it too far. I wasn't going out on a limb.
Uh-uh.
I was just going to say today, and that way we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Best slaw I've made all day, I'll tell you that.
Mm-hmm. I've had breakfast and this, so I'm ready.
Yeah, we've not ate today. We've not sat around and ate
Here,
today.
I got the handle turned around.
Of course, Mama, but that's okay.
Look at the meat, taters, and carrots.
Ooh, those potatoes are even pretty. Those are Yukon Gold. That's enough stuff.
Okay, you want some juice?
Yes, ma'am. I don't want no more stuff. Thank you, Mama.
Oh, you're welcome. Got all that good meat and broth and
It looks delicious.
taters and carrots.
It's a meal in a pot.
Mm-hmm. There we go.
There we go. All right, folks. This is it for us today. We're just going to eat and sit around here, and we ain't going nowhere.
No, that's definitely fair.
We might work a puzzle or something, or start one. Or we might, who knows, just sit and watch TV.
Yeah.
Mama got her TV back.
Don't ask how it works.
Angela Lansbury's been here all day doing stuff. She's,
Solved murders after murders.
I believe she's in on some of them, I swear. I tell Mama, I said, she can't know all that stuff unless she's in on some of it. Mama swears she ain't. I said, I don't know, Mama.
Yes,
I don't watch
You're
it.
just jealous because she's so smart.
But she's a know-it-all. She knows everything. I like just for one time for that little sheriff to solve a crime without her. He deserves it. Bless his heart. She always one-ups him though, every time. He'll be right on the track and she'll come through.
Mm-hmm. Let's eat.
That's like Barney. I wish Barney could just make a good arrest one time.
He arrested the whole town one time.
I know. That didn't go in his favor too good. All right, Mama, let's try this beautiful.
I want a piece of cornbread, please.
Well, you can have one. I might even give you two if you ain't just right.
I believe one will do it on my neck.
What's that knife under their fingers? You gotta watch Mama. She tough. I'm cutting that in again because I don't I don't think I need all that cornbread. I'm gonna try like that right there, do me. Is that possible? See, I just hold mine. My granny used to hold it like, she'd hold it like this. I can't even hold it to show you. She just held it between them two fingers, and I always wonder how in the world. That's what got that whole story started a while ago. I'll chase a rabbit, no matter what on them, Mama.
I reckon you'll be around the bend back.
Like that right there. She'd hold it. I remember that's my memory as a child watching her. And I always, I would do this, hold the whole thing. She'd take them two fingers and hold it. And that's just something, a little silly something that I remember. Do you have those with your grandparents or your parents or somebody?
And her right arm was so much shorter than her left one from where she was shot. It went that year without growing, really.
Mm-hmm. But she was strong. She raised my daddy, took care of her mother, took care of my papa's brother all of her life. She was always caring for somebody doing something. But back in those days, that's what it was. That's what it was. I'll tell you this other funny story since I'm talking about my granny. So her mama and my uncle, they were both elderly. So back then, there was no air conditioning at all. So Granny said all the windows was open and they were sitting on the front porch. And she said they couldn't hear and they talked loud. And she said they got on the front porch and they was talking about her. And said, her mama said, she wants me to do this or that. It was something like take her medicine or take a bath or something. And so my great uncle said, yeah, I know. She's the bossiest thing I ever seen in my life. She made me, and he told what she made him do. Which it was all stuff that had to be for their good, So they didn't do nothing. And Granny said she was dusting and said she thought, wonder what they'd say. So she said she just sat out the window. And anybody don't like it can always find somewhere else to live. So she didn't say their name or nothing. Instead, they just hushed and they just sat there. And said in a minute, her mama said, you can't beat her. She's a good one. And said my uncle said, Lord, I don't know what we'd do without her. Granny used to tell that story in life because, I guess they pondered a moment what all she had done and what she was really making them do was for their good. Granny said none of them never spoke of it again, but she said she didn't hear them talking about her no more on the front porch. But said they just didn't say a word. They just switched their conversation and kept on going. She used to tell that story in life because she thought it was funny. She didn't care. She knew they were old. She didn't care if them talking about her. But she just thought it was funny. And she'd do stuff like that all the time, wouldn't you, Mama?
Yeah.
I'm going to take one little quick bite of this. Then I'm going to say goodbye.
It's hot.
Oh, it's delicious.
Mm-hmm.
Did you try that coleslaw?
Oh, yeah. I ate 2 or 3 bites of it.
Was it good?
Mm-hmm. You did extra good.
Was it fit to eat?
Fit to eat. Best I've had all day.
Folks, y'all stay warm, stay safe, and do something to enjoy yourself today. You've got plenty of time. It's early for us. It's 5:11 here. Well, that's the reason we're eating some onions. Mama said I can have onions at 5 o'clock.
I had to rush to get this done so I could eat early.
Find some enjoyment today. Find something that blesses your heart. And just enjoy that snow. It ain't here forever. It ain't here forever. I sat out there a good while this morning, drank coffee, and just looked out the window and watched the birds land and take off. I watched Abby play in the field. It was just relaxing, and I really enjoyed it. So you all find something to enjoy today. And get you something good to eat, maybe some comfort food. Ain't that right, Mama?
Oh, yeah. Coleslaw and Cornbread's comfort food.
It is. It is. All right, Mama. Say goodbye, Mama.
Goodbye, Mama, and God bless you all. Have a wonderful evening.
Y'all have a good bye.
Bye-bye.